How do you execute the perfect revenge? In the cramped slums of 1970s Manila, a young woman's story unfolds against the backdrop of crushing poverty. Her name is Insiang, and this is Lino Brocka's 1976 Filipino classic of the same name. A film so controversial, it had to be smuggled out of the country during martial law in order to be presented in the Cannes Film Festival. Brocka filmed this masterpiece during the Philippines martial law era, when showing the truth about poverty was itself an act of rebellion. Politically, Insiang asks a haunting question. What happens when society strips away all your options, all your dignity, all your hope? What kind of revenge is born from absolute powerlessness? Today, we're diving into how this masterpiece shows us that when you have nothing, revenge becomes everything. The film opens with pigs being slaughtered, a brutal foreshadowing of what's about to come. But the real horror begins in Tondo, Manila's most notorious slum, where our protagonist Insiang lives with her bitter mother Tonya. These are the shots that Lino Brocka fully utilizes to make us feel the poverty that Insiang is living in. Cramped and claustrophobic, nowhere to escape. When Tonya evicts her own relatives to make room for her much younger lover, Dado, we see how poverty turns family against family. Because there simply isn't enough. There is not enough space, not enough money, not enough dignity to go around. Lino Brocka did not fail in making us experience this kind of pressure cooker that destitution creates. And in Insiang, that pressure is about to explode. In a normal world, a young woman might escape an obsessive predator, but poverty traps Insiang with her mother's lover Dado under one tiny roof. Dado now lives together with Insiang and her mother. Dado eventually showed his carnal desires for Insiang and eventually culminates in him sexually abusing her. The claustrophobic poverty becomes literal. There is nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. When Insiang tells her mother, she refuses to believe her. Instead, she blames her own daughter for seducing Dado. Insiang turns to Bebot, the young lover of our protagonist, bullied by Dado, an obvious rank and file in the social hierarchy of the slums. Insiang went to him hoping for protection, for escape. When Bebot learns about the abuses that Insiang suffered, he offered to take her away. In the film's most claustrophobic scene, we can see Insiang and Bebot confined to a cheap, cramped motel room that mirrors their limited options. Here, instead of spending the night consoling her and talking about their plans, Bebot expresses his own desire on our protagonist. The morning after, Insiang found herself alone. Bebot, nowhere to be seen, abandoning her. There is one good man, Nanding, who offers genuine help, but by then, it's too late.
Hindi ako maaaring umalis dito hanggat hindi natatapos ang dapat kong gawin.
Anong dapat mong gawin?
Wala. Saka mo na malalaman.
Insiang has learned her lesson about depending on others. In poverty, traditional justice isn't an option. The police won't help. The community won't help. Her own mother won't help. And that's when something in Insiang changes. The genius of Insiang is us watching a victim subtly transform into an avenger by using the very conditions that oppressed her. First, Insiang does the unthinkable. She pretends to accept Dado's advances. In the name of the supposed love, she weaponized her femininity and fragility, and she used Dado to exact revenge against Bebot.
May gusto sana ako ipagawa sa'yo eh.
Ano yun?
Gusto kong kumanti.
Bebot, who was supposed to be her white knight and escape, but who was just like any other betraying man of her life. The close quarters that trapped her, now trapped her enemies. But her ultimate plan was much more satisfying than that. After a brutal confrontation, Insiang made sure that her mother overhears Dado professing his plans to elope with her and to run away together. Overhearing this and the pressure finally needing to erupt, her mother, consumed by rage and betrayal, stabs and kills Dado. Insiang did not dirty her own hands. Instead, she created a situation where her mother would act as the instrument of her revenge. Revenge perfectly executed. The poverty that created her helplessness became the very architecture of her revenge. The cramped spaces, the lack of privacy, the interdependence of the community, all weaponized by a woman with nothing left to lose. In the film's final scene, Inxiang visits her mother in prison. Both women are hollowed eyed and devastated. Revenge has been achieved, but at what cost? It can be argued that Inxiang was never even apologetic for what she did. Inxiang shows us that revenge born of poverty is a different animal. It is both intimate and resourceful as it uses the very systems of oppression as its weapons. As a final note, Lino Brocka created more than just a revenge thriller. He created a searing portrait of how economic conditions shape human morality itself. When traditional justice is a luxury, revenge becomes the currency of the poor. If you want to see more videos like this, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thank you.